All right, everybody, welcome back to the Caleb Hembry podcast. I'm your host, Caleb Hembry, and we're going to be looking into some of the Candace Owens controversy, some responses by Erika Kirk's tweets, whole bunch of fun stuff today. So let's get straight.
We believe in the power of prayer. And what I do know is that we believe in our sovereign God. And what I do know is that that night before, we did what we usually did before tours. We said our prayer, and we asked the Lord to protect us, and we asked the Lord that his will be done. That's what we did.
Erika Kirk is lying, and I can prove it. I've already given you too many episodes this week, so I'm going to keep this very, very short. But this is my day off, as you can tell by the beanie. I was just relaxing. But this is a fact. I can prove almost definitively. I mean, it's basically definitive. We've got 3 different sources, probably 4, arguably 4, that are all saying the opposite of what Erika Kirk is saying. So let's prove out why I think
When it comes to sources here, I believe he's about to bring up Candace. I haven't watched the video yet. But I believe if it's about Candace, I don't know if you could say she's a source, given that she hasn't provided receipts, unless she has. We'll see what he has to say about it. You know, we have to be careful what we choose as being a source or not.
a definitive lie.
1000% that Andrew Colvett told me the night before Charlie was murdered that Charlie Kirk texted him and said, they are going to kill me. Andrew Colvett is the person who received a text message from Charlie Kirk saying they're...
So it was Andrew Colvett. See, so this is what's going to be interesting here, because Andrew Colvett, I can pull up, is... I just want to get this right. His position within Turning Point. So he is the... Let's see, pull this up. So I know he is involved with the Turning Point podcast now, that, or the Charlie Kirk show, now that Charlie is out. Right now, owner looking like, okay, Andrew Colvett is the executive producer of the Charlie Kirk show. Okay, so he ran a show, and friend of Charlie Kirk, known fact. He was on the episode with Blake Neff where they both confronted Candace's lies and said, we're going to be doing the live stream. That was a past video done where you had Blake Neff. Pull that up here. Blake Neff's position. Okay, not really finding. We can just do this really quick search up. I'm just trying to be very specific on Andrew Colvett and Blake Neff's position within the company. All right, so inside of Turning Point USA, Blake Neff is obviously hosting the Charlie Kirk show, or at least is a co-host alongside Andrew Colvett. He's a producer for the show, and which is the flagship podcast of Turning Point, and he runs that. Andrew Colvett, on the other hand, is, as I said, the executive producer of the show, so he also runs the show. They kind of co-host it, and he's a key figure. He is really their spokesperson. Okay, so it says he's executive producer of the show and also their flagship spokesperson. So he is their media leadership. He's the one addressing the public, which he did with the Charlie Kirk show. So back to the video.
They're going to kill me. And I'm not getting that third party. I got that directly from Andrew Colvett. He asked me to keep it off.
Okay, so Candace got that directly from Andrew Colvett, the lead media guy at Turning Point, the executive producer of the Charlie Kirk Show. She got that from him.
Record, and I would have kept it off record if Erika did not imply that I lied, right?
So that's Candace Owens on with Jimmy Dore today. You may be thinking to yourself, okay, well, that's not enough, Clint. That's not enough. I mean, this is basically hearsay. You have to trust Candace Owens, who's being told that by Andrew Colvett, according to her, 48 hours after Charlie's death. And you don't know, maybe Colvett's lying or maybe Candace is lying, even though I'm very confident she's not, particularly about this topic. So this is where it gets pretty provable. Frank Turek, who is allegedly the mentor to Charlie Kirk before he passed, had this to say.
He wrote me this: please pray for me. I'm under the gun on something right now. Prayers appreciated. I texted him and I said, I hope you've increased your security detail. He texted me back. He said, quote, I have. I know they want me dead.
That's one piece of evidence. Okay, Frank Turek is not allegedly Charlie Kirk's mentor. He was his mentor. Charlie spoke about him as such. So Frank doing this at all is remarkable. This kind of proves that point, and it really gives validity to what Candace is saying here. That Charlie at least had some sort of a preconceived notion that he was, being, or people were looking to come after him.
I don't know who he meant by they.
Charlie Kirk texted him saying, I know they want me dead. He also said, I'm under the gun right now. Please pray for me. So pretty explicit. I mean, this is not like real nebulous claims here. He's saying it's nebulous in the sense that he's saying they, so we don't know who they is, but it doesn't come across as like a metaphorical threat. It's not like he's like under the metaphorical gun, but it sounds like he's actually under the gun. And he knows that they want him dead, and that's how you know that it's not just metaphorical. So in order to believe Erika Kirk, that she has his cell phone, she's looked through it, and that those text messages never happened, you have to believe that Candace Owens, Frank Turek, probably Andrew Colvett, and also the additional contact that Candace Owens has within TPOSA is all lying. All of them are lying, and Erika Kirk is telling the truth. I'm going to go with the odds on this one and say Erika Kirk is clearly lying. And here's another really important thing that we need to consider.
So his point is that after Candace has said that piece of information coming from Andrew Colvett, and Frank Turek has come out with that information, and Blake Neff has not publicly denied it, those three are all in alignment. And the one that isn't in alignment is Erika, when she said that didn't happen. Couple things. One, people were saying, how do you have his phone? The FBI will gather, the phone, get whatever they need off of it, and then return it. So I don't know how it works. A possibility is they remove that, so Erika doesn't have access to it. But the most likely is they then gave her back the phone, and she is just misspeaking, hasn't found it. Maybe it was on a, not iMessage. Maybe it was on, Messenger or some other application. Whatever it is, I don't know if Erika would blatantly lie about it, but it's clear that I would agree probably pick the majority. Blake Neff, Andrew Colvett, and Frank Turek's and Candace Owens' decision and take on the matter.
Erika comes out yesterday and she says that she has the cell phone.
But he was not messaging people the day before saying, I'm going to be murdered. They're coming after me.
Somebody's lying. I don't know about you, but I see Frank Turek a lot. He comes across my feed. He's a genuine guy. He has called out Candace, left and right. So for him to then, having a point of agreement with her, one is rare. But two, it also shows that I don't think, I don't think that he would lie about it. And from her perspective, you could see why she would, not give that information up, to not give any leverage or any more leverage to Candace, to give Candace that upper hand.
Someone's going to kill me. He didn't say that. And I have his cell phone.
And my immediate thought, along with Ian Carroll, was why? Why would the widow, why would his spouse possess what we believe is very key evidence in this case? I mean, unless you're just basically assuming.
So this is why does she have the phone? I don't know how it works. People were saying on X that supposedly they'll take your phone, or Rachel Wilson was saying this. I can pull it up very quickly. She tweeted out, that's going to be, might be too far down. Just take a quick look real quick. All right. Not going to be able to find it. But Rachel did post out, Rachel Wilson said that, it's not unlikely that the FBI would take the phone, get everything off that they need, then return the phone to Erika, which Rachel has anecdotal evidence. She was in a similar situation. A family member died. They took the phone, gathered that stuff that they need, then gave the phone back. That's what she was arguing.
That it's Tyler Robinson, and obviously Charlie Kirk had no communications with Tyler Robinson, so I guess the cell phone isn't tremendously relevant. But if you are actually approaching this investigation with an open mind, well then, yeah, the cell phone matters tremendously, because then you can actually get additional information as to, like, was Charlie facing any threats? Was there anybody else that he had bad blood with? Is there any other people with potential motives? Is there any other angles that you might want to look into? But apparently that's not necessary here. So I've got this post, a reply to Ian Carroll from this guy named Zeke Arkham. Never heard of him, probably a Zio shill, but I'm not familiar, so maybe he's for real. It says, "Hi, Ian, criminal investigator here. If someone is murdered by an outside source, their body is brought to a medical examiner where an itemized list of their belongings is made. Each item on that list is scrutinized to see if it's needed in the investigation. If it's an item like a phone, a detailed reason is needed, as well as a warrant to search the phone. Charlie's phone isn't relevant to the investigation. He's the victim. Therefore, it was turned over to his next of kin, his wife." I'm going to pause there and just say, dude, you're a criminal investigator, and you think that in a political assassination that the cell phone of the victim would not be relevant to the investigation, end quote?
Yeah, I agree there. I think that the phone would be relevant, despite whether he's the victim or, Charlie's the victim. Obviously, it's relevant. Obviously, this high scale of an assassination, the phone's relevant.
Really? Man, I hope you're never in charge of any important investigations. Continuing on. If anyone's cell phone is under investigation, it's the POS who murdered him. As an investigator, I'd be tearing that phone apart to see who this guy was talking with before and after. Hope this clears things up, Oogums. Oh, Zeke, you fucking suck at life. So yeah. Let's just think about this rationally. If you have any doubt about whether or not Tyler Robinson did it, you're going to be very, very interested in the communications that Charlie, the victim, was having in the days, weeks, months, even years leading up to this attack. We're not talking about some regular murder here. We're talking about a politically motivated assassination. This takes on additional gravity that all of us can feel, but apparently Zeke, this professional investigator, doesn't feel himself. He just goes, I'd be tearing that phone apart for Tyler Robinson. It's like, dude, how about you actually look into the case and see if anybody else might have been involved? How about
right,
even if it is Tyler, as I've said many times, this shit claim that, oh, I've got Charlie's phone, but it was wiped, so I have no idea what his communications consisted of. But that's
sorry, guys, I did not.
Guys, this brush set
this
is absolutely
video,
amazing. It feels just like those.
Beforehand, so having to get through this here.
Stop. That's it. That's all I have to say. Stop. These lies say
Let's get that back for a
main peddlers of these conspiracies, and she is making a huge.
Oh, okay. They're
She
talking about
can't do
Candace.
this job.
We're
She
gonna
comes
actually get-
across super Beatrice-y. I mean, that's what that was.
The podcaster Candace Owens, okay? At one time, a friend of Charlie's, at one time, an employee of Turning Point. She has been one of the main peddlers of these conspiracies, and she is making a huge amount of money on it. She is building her business off of these lies. What do you want to say to her and the other people that are putting these lies out into the world right now? Stop. That's it. That's all I have to say. Stop.
Big smile, and then this
First of all, the reaction he's going to talk
slow
about.
turn into a grimace as she's talking about Candace Owens, and then stop. It's like,
Come on. That's when the tweet comes in. So take a look at this. We had a back and forth of Candace and Turning Point arguing about when, where, how they were going to meet on December 15th, because Turning Point came out and said, we're going to have a live stream to debunk Candace's claims. So Candace, the gist is Candace comes out and says, name, date, and place and time. I'll be there. I'll discuss it with you. They then choose the 15th, which her husband tells her they cannot do because they have someone coming in from overseas. He's very high profile. No big deal. I don't have a problem with that. Yes, she could have spoken a little bit better when it came to that and not said name the place and time and date, but whatever. So then you have the Turning Point USA advocates and their media people, Blake Neff and Andrew Colvett, who tweet out and say, I believe it was at 1 a.m. in the morning, you have 24 hours to respond. We're doing it the 15th, with or without you, essentially. She says she can't make the date. Please let me live call in. They say no. Well, newest information here is this here. All right, and this is a big deal. We got Erika Kirk. Candace Owens and I are meeting for a private, in-person discussion on Monday, the 15th of December. Candace Owens and I have agreed that public discussions, live streams, and tweets are on hold until after this meeting. I look forward to a productive conversation. Thank you. That's interesting. Because, you just had Erika saying, stop being this drama queen. Then she posts this. I'm thinking some discussion has went on behind the scenes, and they've really discussed this probably. And so the first thing, you get is, well, great, have this discussion. So you have people who have been tweeting all this out, who have been following the story, like Eileen Beth Stuckey, who came out, reposted it, saying, hopes and prayers that this goes well. You had Brandon Tatum doing the same. Breaking news, Erika and Candace are going to have a private in-person meeting. Allie Beth Stuckey, she says, wow, 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 praying for peace, discernment, and truth. Everybody's ecstatic about it. And frankly, it's a good thing. However, I think that there was a whole lot of drama out here with Turning Point, with Blake Neff, with Andrew Colvett, that there didn't need to be. And in the end, none of that should happen. This should have came first. Erika should have done her job, reached out to Candace, and done this first. She knew Candace. She knew Candace and Charlie were friends. All this acting, no. Okay, no. You needed to go straight to her and say, let's get this over once and for all. So then Candace responds, retweets this, if I have it, saying, I am very much looking forward to this conversation. And so there we have it. We have this important discussion that's going to happen tomorrow. We'll see what comes of it. I'm guessing Turning Point's not going to do the live stream because Erika tweeted that all live streams would be put off until they have this private discussion. What's my vision? What's my goal for the conversation? I think that the best thing that's going to happen is they are going to agree upon, decide to do a open live stream, in person, on call, whatever, to debunk Candace's claims, or try to, or have an open discussion or something. I honestly don't think Candace lets this go that easily, which is what they're making it sound like. Candace is going to drop it. I don't think that's going to happen. Now, Candace did say, if Erika says stop, then I would stop. So we'll just see how that plays out. Moving on, we have some tweets here from Allie Beth Stuckey. This is big. First of all, you had someone tweet out to Allie Beth Stuckey, have no clue who this is, and said, Candace was a part of Charlie's inner circle. Don't know about the rest. I think it's more to do with Protestant belief structures in your mind than Jewishness. Allie then says, no, she wasn't. That's it. Well, then you have Tyler Boyer, who's at Turning Point USA with friends of Charlie Kirk. Right? Turning Point Action, all that. Tyler Boyer comes out and says, you talked to Charlie far more than Candace did. LOL. Right here. And Allie then says, in response, yup. Again, I don't know how we determine all this. How do we fact check it? You can't really. You have to trust Candace or trust them. I'm more inclined to trust Candace because she's been factually correct in the past, and I don't think she's one to lie. If her and Charlie were friends, close friends, they were probably close friends. Just because they hadn't talked for a while, because he later says, let me find it. Incredibly unorganized. This person says she was an ex-coworker. Penny Maxwell, I'm not sure who that is. Probably I should. But she says it's a full-blown lie. She has lied from day one. This is why Charlie warned me about her, and I stopped having her in. Blake Nefton says, hey, Krista, I talked with Charlie literally every day from 2023 onward, except when he was doing his Shabbat. Candace was not a part of his inner circle. There you have it. Take it for what it is. They're just going back and forth. Meanwhile, Candace is constantly combating this. She's constantly saying, yes, they were friends. Charlie and I were close. She provides text messages and receipts from when they went on tours together for Turning Point. She was in every Turning Point tour up until 2024. And I think her last one was the women's conference in 2024. And that's right when she started her new show. So, she didn't have as much time. Donors were pushing Charlie in the corner about having Candace and Tucker. So it makes sense that she didn't necessarily come back. Tucker did, by the way. And so you have Candace talking all about it. One other point of information is that Candace had claimed that Egyptian military planes were following Erika and Charlie Kirk around at their tours. And then Erika went on CBS News claiming that I was never on an Egyptian plane. Candace says, "You really think I'm going to be on an Egyptian..." This is quoting Erika. "You really think I'm going to be on an Egyptian plane when I'm wanting to be with my In-N-Out burger and my chocolate milkshake?" You know, acting like, basically saying she wasn't on the plane, she was pregnant, so she wasn't even traveling. Well, Candace literally says, literally no one accused Erika or Charlie of flying on Egyptian planes, and no, you were not pregnant for the last 4 years. So Candace is just trying to debunk these things. I think the conversation is going to be really genuine. I think it's going to be great, and I hope that they continue to discuss things publicly after the private conversation. This has been the Caleb Hembry Podcast. I'm your host, Caleb Hembry. Thanks for watching.